Good morning, my friends. Happy Wednesday. I've got a really good response about this YouTube channel, and we've got a lot of really exciting things that are coming. You might see some familiar faces soon, so make sure that you tune in every day. I wanted to start today, before we read, we've got our book with us. I wanted to start today, though, and talk about a couple things that can help make your day kind of run like a normal day. So we're going to be out, we know, at least for the next 2 weeks. And so I listened to somebody yesterday and they were talking about how to still create structure within our day and to help our days flow smoothly. So some things that they suggested are to get up and still get dressed every single morning. So wake up, brush your teeth, brush your hair, do whatever you need to do, and put on your clothes. And, don't stay in your pajamas all day. I would love to stay in my pajamas all day, but it is good to get up, to get dressed, and to feel productive, just like you would be going to school, just like you'd be coming to see me. I also want you to think about what are some parts of our day that we always implement. So think about whenever we enter the classroom, how do we enter? It's always silently. We take some quiet time right off the bat. So maybe in the morning, take a few minutes to just kind of be quiet. Also think about whenever we come to the carpet, we have our morning meeting. What do we do with each other? We have our morning greeting. So here's my morning greeting. Good morning, Tubi. So think about greeting your family whenever you walk in the room. Let that be the first thing that you do, is to tell your mom and your dad good morning, and to tell your brothers and sisters good morning. So think about that. I am going to make our class worship list public. It actually already is public. So it's on our channel. Just look for, I think it says Tubi Classroom Worship Playlist. So all of the songs that we sing during worship time for our morning meeting, those are going to be on there, so you can find those. Another thing that I thought was really helpful was to have a separate space for whenever you're doing your schoolwork, and for that to be separate than where you eat and where you play and where you sleep. So maybe don't do your work while you're sitting in your bed. Let there be a specific place in your house that you go whenever you sit down to do your schoolwork. That's where you do your work, and that's separate from where you play or where you are sleeping or eating or anything like that. Whenever you eat, sit down at the supper table and eat there. So I thought that those were just some really good little pointers. They're things that I'm going to do. I have a specific place that I'm going to work every day at my house, and it's going to be separate from where I sleep and where I eat. And so I'm not going to do work from my bed, though I could probably find a lot of excuses to do that. I'm not going to, because this is still, it's a normal day. We have to create structure. We have to create routine. I also want you to think about that we spend at least 30 minutes every day playing without screens. And it's mostly outside at recess, but if it's not, then it's, indoor recess, but it's still that time. It's just that break where you just play. So allow yourself that time, go outside, play, run around. Some good websites that we use in class, we use GoNoodle. So it's GoNoodle, NOODLE.com. That's free. And you can create an account. So do some GoNoodle videos if you want to. And I just think those would be good ways to kind of implement what we are already doing. The last thing that I thought of was whenever we do our desk checks, I want you to stop and think, what are some things that we do? Whenever we do a desk check, what does that look like? We organize our whole area. We kind of pull everything out. We kind of throw away anything that we don't need. We take care of our materials, put things back where they go. I want you to think about, what does doing a desk check look like in your bedroom, or with your toys, or wherever you play, or whenever you sit down to eat and you're cleaning your stuff up. What does that look like to take care of your area? So those are the biggest things that I wanted to tell you about today. And I would really encourage you to kind of structure your day like that and make sure that you're doing everything you can to create that day, because at the end of it, still a lot to do. And even though it's a tricky little time, we can still be very productive with it. So that's that. I am going to read, though. I think we'll read 2 chapters today. What about that? So chapter 2, Hopping and Racing and Tic-Tac-Toed. I ride the school bus with my bestest friend named Grace. She has curly black hair. That is my favorite kind of head. She also has pink high tops with big feet in them. That Grace is a lucky duck, I think. Hey, Grace, guess what? Me and my grandpa Frank Miller played games today, and I winned him at Old Maid and hopping and skipping and tic-tac-toed. And so I'm the bestest game winner in the whole world. That Grace smiled at me. Me too, she said. I'm a good game winner too. I patted her very nice. Yeah, only you can't be as good as me, Grace, because I said it first. That's why. That Grace did a mad face at me, then she called me the name of Beanie Head. I patted her again. You don't take criticism that well, Grace, I said. Just then she got out a pencil and paper from her backpack. She drew a tic-tac-toed. Now we'll see who the bestest winner really is, she said. I got X's. I got O's, she hollered. I go first, I hollered. I go second, she hollered. Then me and her played tic-tac-toed. Tic-tac-toed, 3 in a row, I yelled very fast. See, Grace, see. Told ya, I'm the bestest winner. That Grace looked at the paper. Your X's aren't in a row, Ginny B, she said. I did a huffy breath at her. I know they're not in a row, Grace. That's why I made a curvy line to connect them. That Grace jumped up. Cheater, cheater, that's cheating, she shouted. The X's have to be in a straight row. Then she passed our tic-tac-toed all around the bus, and all the other kids called me a cheater too. Plus a meanie boy named Jim called me the name of Nutball. I hate that guy. After that, I scooted way over next to the window all by myself. Should have took O's, I whispered, very disappointed. Pretty soon, the bus pulled into my school parking lot. I hurried off that thing speedy quick. Hey, Ginny B, wait up, yelled that Grace. You and me can skip to the swing set together. Want to? All of a sudden, I felt happy inside again because skipping is my bestest game. I could cream her at that, I think. Hey, Grace, I hollered. You and me can have a skipping race. The first one to the swings is the winner. I took a big breath. Ready? Get set, go, I shouted, except for that Grace wasn't actually off the bus yet, only that's not my problem. I skipped as fast as a speeding rocket. I'm winning, I shouted, very thrilled, but then that Grace skipped right past me. Hi, Judy B. Bye, Judy B, she said. Then she touched the swing set before I did. I won, she yelled. I beat you at skipping. I told you I was a good game winner. I stamped my foot at her. No, you are not a good game winner, Grace, I said, because your feet are way gianter than mine. Plus, you also have on pink high tops, so this was not a fair and square race. That Grace stuck her tongue out at me. This is not attractive of you, madame, I said. Then I turned around and saw my other bestest friend named Lucille. I ran to her speedy quick. Hey, Lucille, it's me. It's your bestest friend, Ginny B. Jones. Let's not play with that Grace, okay? Let's just play by ourselves because you and me can have a hopping contest and we can see who's the bestest hopper. Lucille fluffed her lacy dress. Okay, but I'm not allowed to get sweaty, and also I must be careful with my fingernails. She showed them to me. See, the manicure lady painted them apricot ice. See how beauteous they are? Yeah, whatever, I said, not looking at her. I took a giant breath. Ready, set, go, I shouted. Then me and Lucille started hopping on one foot. We hopped and hopped and hopped. Only it wasn't as fun hopping with Grandpa Miller on account of Lucille didn't get tired and fall over. Look, Judy B, she said very squealy. Look how bouncy I am. This is fun, isn't it? I wiped my sweating head. Yeah, only it would be funner if you fell over now, Lucille, because I just had a skipping contest with that Grace and I'm a little pooped here. Look, Ginny B, she said again. Look how fluffy my skirt bounces over my head when I hop way high. My face felt hottish and reddish. I could see your underpants, Lucille. Only that dumb Lucille didn't even care if I could see her underpants. She just kept hopping and hopping. Finally, I got tired and fell over. Yeah, shouted Lucille. I'm the winner of hopping. Just then, the school bell rang and everybody ran to room 9, except not for me. I walked very slow, all by myself. Mrs. was standing outside room 9. Mrs. is the name of my teacher. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. She smiled at me. Why so glum today, Judy B? She asked. Because people keep on beating me at all my games. That's why, and so now I'm not the bestest winner anymore, I said. Then I went to my seat and I put my head down on my table. On account of glum is when the happy is gone right out of you. Chapter 3, all about carnivals. Mrs. took attendance. Attendance is when you say the word here, only I didn't feel like saying it, so I just raised my hand, very flimsy. Are you feeling all right, Junie B? Mrs. asked. She's okay, said Lucille. She's just mad because I beat her at hopping. Yeah, only I already explained that to you, madame, I shouted at Lucille's face. Mrs. clapped her hands loud at me. Junie B. Jones, that will be enough of that, she said. I put my head on my table again. This day is a bummer, I whispered just to myself. Mrs. stood up at her desk. Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please? I would like to talk to you about a special night coming up at school on Friday. It's called Carnival Night. Does anyone know what a carnival is? I do, said that Jim that I hate. A carnival is like what they have at the state fair every year. There are lots of rides there, like the Ferris wheel and the tilt-a-whirl and the bumper cars. Yeah, and there's a shooting gallery with fake ducks, said Jamal Hall. And there's cotton candy that rots your teeth by eating big black holes in your protective tooth enamel, said a boy I love named Ricardo. Ricardo's mother is a dentist, I think. And after that, a crybaby boy named William stood up, very shy. And he said one time he rode the scary roller coaster and he didn't even cry that much, except for he accidentally did throw up his chili dog. Then Polly Allen Puffer told about carnival food that he threw up too, like a candy apple and caramel popcorn and a rubber band. Except for that is not food. That is office supplies. I raised my hand. Carnivals are ripoffs, I said. Because one time my daddy kept on trying to knock over 3 bottles with a ball. But even when he hit them, they wouldn't fall down. So then he and mother had to call the cops. And also eyewitnesses news at 6 and 10. Mrs. laughed out loud. Yeah, only that is not a laughing matter, I told her. She stopped smiling. No, of course it isn't, she said, but I promise that nothing like that will happen at our school's carnival night, Junie B. All the games are going to be run by the parents and teachers, and there will be hundreds of prizes to win. I sat up a little bit straighter. Hundreds? I said. Hundreds, she said. Yeah, only I don't even know how to win them, I said. And so Mrs. got out a piece of paper that told about all the carnival games. Well, let's see, she said. It says there will be a fishing booth, a penny toss, a moonwalk tent, a putting green, clothespins in the bottle, a basketball shoot, a ring toss, and a booth where you can throw wet sponges at our principal's face. Just then, room 9 started laughing very much because throwing sponges at principal is a dream come true. That's why. Mrs. kept on reading. It also says that Mrs. Hall, the art teacher, will be painting faces in the art room. And in our very own room 9, there's going to be a cakewalk. I jumped right out of my chair. Hey, guess what? Walking on cake is the funnest thing I love. Because one time at a picnic, I stepped on my grandpa's Little Debbie snacks. Stepped on my grandpa's Little Debbie snack cake with my bare feet, and the creamy filling was very squishing between my toes. Goonie, shouted that Jim that I hate. You Goonie Bird Jones, you don't walk on cake. A cakewalk is a game where you win a cake. Right, teacher? Right? Mrs. made squinting eyes at him. Yes, Jim. But we do not call people Goonie birds. Calling people's names is rude. Plus, if you want to make a comment, I would appreciate it if you would politely raise your hand. Like me, right, Mrs.? I hollered out because I raised my hand very polite whenever I told you that carnivals were ripoffs. Remember that? Then a lot of other kids shouted that they were very polite too. And so I had to stand up on my chair so Mrs. could hear me. Yeah, only they can't be as polite as me, right, Mrs.? Right? Because I said it first, right? Then Mrs. rubbed her head for a very long time. And also, she took some aspirin. Tomorrow we will read chapter 4. It's called Very Practicing. I'm really looking forward to doing this with you all. I think that it's just a really good way to check in and for me to tell you that I'm thinking about you. And that I'm praying for you and that I love you, and I will tell you that every day. I think that this is just it's a good way to do that though. So make sure that you check in with me every day. If you've got an account, you can comment and leave me a comment and I can write you back. Make sure that your parents remember that today is the day to go pick up schoolwork, go pick up a packet of schoolwork at school. There are different times. I did send an email last night, but if they need to reach out on Class Dojo or text me, they're welcome to do that. So thinking about you. and I will meet you here tomorrow.